Yeah, wow. Okay, you guys can hear me now. Sorry about that. Yeah, welcome everyone to my live. Yeah, there should be sound now. I I forget that I have to turn that shit on. I always forget about that. So yeah, welcome everyone to uh yeah, is it still? You can hear now, right? You can hear now. You can definitely hear now, 100%. I can tell that it's picking it up, right? Right. Still no audio. It's back. That's what I thought. Okay, freaking. Anyways, yo, yeah. What's up, Richard? What's up, everyone? Yeah, I just forgot to turn it back on. So, anyways, I'm here doing a freaking Q&A about data engineering, data science. Launched the boot camp. We are 3 weeks deep now into the data engineering boot camp, and we are going to be doing some really solid stuff here. We have two awesome instructors, right? We have Bruno Souza de Lima, and we have Yared Gudetta. Those are the two people. Yared is teaching the Databricks side, and then Bruno's teaching the Snowflake and DBT side. It's freaking really awesome. It's really exciting. These boot camps are freaking like the energy is great, right? Your comments come in late. That's why. That's so funny. Yeah, I have this like Scarlet freaking receiver. I have like all of this like set up now, right? But yeah, I'm in San Francisco now, everybody. So like, oh, recently we added analytics engineering to the subscription product, by the way. So now, if you want to learn Snowflake and DBT in my boot camps or from the subscription product, it's very easy to do that, right? Can you schedule walking meeting up when you come to Australia? Maybe. Like, like I mean, freaking. When I'm in Australia, I'm gonna be doing keynotes, and it's like freaking a lot, right? It's a lot to do all that stuff. So maybe. Like I don't know. It's like I could potentially do that, but I loved your post about data engineering fundamentals today. If you can expand on that, that'd be great. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, yeah, sir, please. I gotta extend this one. Plur, please extend the free boot camp. No, like definitely not. Like I already have extended it, and so it's up to you to actually get out of it what you can get out of it, right? So I'm not just here to freaking have infinite free materials for people on the internet, right? Because guess what? People don't value free. They honestly don't value free, because it's like if you value free, you would have prioritized this. So 100%. Yeah, expanding more on data engineering fundamentals. So like, well, if you think about it from another perspective, like there's not that many things that really govern data engineering, right? You have one is um, you have distributed compute, which is like Spark and or Snowflake or freaking BigQuery or whatever, one of those compute engines, and like just learning that, right? That's going to be the big thing to remember, right? Is like, how do you break up big data and process it in chunks by using teamwork, using horizontal scalability, right? And it's like, if you can just understand that, then freaking you are already very much on your way to being a good big data engineer, because that's like a freaking like, and that if you understand those fundamentals, that's how you can troubleshoot things. You can understand like, why is this happening or what's going on, right? Interested in data engineering bootcamp, let me know the new date. There should be one in March. Probably going to do one in March. I still need to talk with my instructors about like if they want to go again, they want to teach again. So I need to. I'm going to be doing that probably next week or so that we can open up sales for the next one. I'm hoping March. Can we still get into the boot camp? Like the paid boot camp? The paid boot camp sales have closed. Like we are halfway through the paid boot camp. So, but like the free boot camp, you have 2 weeks or 3 weeks ish, right? Like you have like 2.5 weeks to finish the free boot camp, and you can join whenever you want. It's all on YouTube for free, so why not? Like just go and do it. So let's see here. Yeah, but I'm answering any questions that y'all might have. The free boot camp has been pretty awesome. We have like over 50,000 people who've signed up now, and 200 people have finished. So it's terrible in terms of completion rate, but like it's fine. Like I get that a lot of people like took one video and they might have gotten value from that, but and then like so definitely know that like the free stuff's interesting, and I know that I will be able to get a lot more people involved with other things going forward. But yeah, keeping in mind, like if you are interested in Snowflake and DBT, I just added that to my subscription product. So we just added like freaking 40-50 hours of content for freaking 40-50 hours of content on Snowflake and DBT. So if you want to get better at analytics engineering, it'll be great. Will the free bootcamp be taken off of YouTube in 2 weeks? 100% correct. Why does your stream have GitHub link for lab code? Because like that's just my default freaking. I have a default freaking launch thing, right? That I need to change. But hello, in your opinion, would a BS degree in statistics or mathematics be better for pursuing a career as a data engineer? Statistics, just statistics, just do it. All your boot camps are hosted using AWS, or you would shed light on other cloud providers on the services. Like, yeah, I mean, like AWS is 90% of the money from my boot camp comes from the United States of America. 90%, right? And like, because people in India are very interested in my boot camps, they just can't afford them. And then you have like people in Europe, the time zone's bad for people in Europe. So like because of that, because of those two things, like teaching AWS makes the most sense because AWS has like 60% market share in the US. So like does it make sense to like teach other service cloud services? 100% it does. But like I can't teach them at the same price point, which is makes me less motivated to teach it because it's like if I can't charge you guys $2,500 to teach Azure or to teach GCP, it's like why the fuck should I teach it? It's what's called like a waste of time, especially like if you think about it in comparison to like what I could be making, the money I could be making teaching AWS to an American audience, right? So there's a lot of stuff that is out there, right? Have you ever thought of starting a DE podcast? Been listening to the lectures while driving, delivering to help reinforce concepts. Would be interesting to hear from DE, AE across industries. Yeah, I mean, like a podcast would be interesting. I just do so much right now. Newsletter, you know, LinkedIn, YouTube, freaking TikTok, freaking Twitter, freaking Threads. Like I mean, I get that people are like, you should do another thing, Zach. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I should like do a thing called live my life, like and enjoy my life. Like I get that that would be probably something that would be valuable for people, but like again, like I'm trying to my whole philosophy in life this year is less is more, right? Less is more. I'm gonna do fewer things better, right? I'm more referring to parallels in the services that are provided by cloud providers. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like people don't care though. People don't care about the parallels. They do not care because people are so tribal. They're like, I'm an Azure engineer, so I don't. If I'm not, I would never ever in a million trillion billion years take an AWS bootcamp because guess what? I'm an Azure engineer, and I treat myself like I am part of that tribe, right? And so like you're totally right in that like that I could teach the parallels like of like this means this means this, and how they all line up because it's all freaking the same shit at the end of the day. It's all like we all run cron based SQL in the cloud at the end of the day, right? It's all the same shit. So like freaking, I mean, it is what it is, right? Do DE really need dynamic programming and other data structures? I mean, if you want to get in at big tech, yes, 100%. And you need it for the interview, not for the job. Um, what do you predict will come out of Stargate, the U.S.? I mean, I think it's exciting. I think that that's a freaking very big and exciting program that will get a lot of people involved. Let me. I'm gonna 1 second. Let me. I just need to like log in real quick. I need to like. I want to get like some sales rolling here. So awesome. So we have so if you go to dataexpert.io/SF, because I just moved back to SF, you can get 50% off the subscription product. So instead of $200 a month, you can get it for $100 a month. And it's only for the first 5 people though. So the first 5 people to buy here for this. And keeping in mind, we just added a bunch of content for analytics engineering. So if you're interested in Snowflake and DBT, you can get in for $100 a month and you can learn and change your life and get a much better job. It's an unbelievable deal, honestly, because I don't very often offer 50% off. I'm doing that right now because I'm trying to get more people involved. And SF also stands for Snowflake and San Francisco. And I just moved back to San Francisco. So it's kind of an epic thing. So yeah, that's going to be, you can definitely take advantage of this discount code and that will allow you to get into the academy, get learning, get growing, right? Do you have more advanced course on data engineering, like fine tuning Spark, managing data lakes? That's literally what my bootcamp's all about. My paid bootcamp is literally this, like, literally this. Like that's literally what. Like next week, my paid bootcamp, we are going over fine tuning Spark, And go check out my freaking 4 hours of content on that in the free bootcamp. I'm telling you, there's a lot of, I already teach a lot about fine tuning Spark and managing data lakes in my freaking free content. Like if you just go and watch the data lake fundamentals content, go look up data lake fundamentals Zach, and then also look up advanced Spark Zach, and those two contents are going to be really good. So yeah, keeping in mind that like if you guys are interested in learning Snowflake and DBT, you can get 50% off today to get in on that. It's I'm telling you, like it's really good content. I've had so many people land jobs with this content already. So like if you just put effort and time into this, you would be surprised at how far you would get. I'd love to just chill and snowboard with them data engineering bucks, right? Yeah, snowboarding's great. I have not hit the slopes at all this year yet. I need to, right? I know SF is glad to have you back. Hope you and Lulu are settling in nicely. Yeah, I freaking it's been great. Yeah, that freaking how's it going, Alexis? It's great. That's my brother's wife right there. How's it going? Like and I have been liking it. I'm back in Soma, and so it's a good time. So I'm really excited for where things are going. Not sure how much of this I will use as a bioinformatician, but I cranked out most of this and learned a lot. Amazing. Yeah, just learning how to handle data is great. Page isn't loading iPhone. Is it not? Let me see. No, it's working. Yeah, dataexpert.io/SF is definitely working. Like sometimes people like, I don't know, between jobs and need some direction upskilling. Yeah, for sure. If specifically UZAC were to start fresh and OD knowledge, how long do you think it'd take you to get a DE job at this moment? I think it'd be pretty fast. Like, I mean, the job market's dog shit right now, though. If I have no credential and I have no computer science degree and I have no fundamentals, like freaking, I think maybe like 6 months. Like, honestly, depends. Look, do you discuss AQE broadcast hash joins in your Databricks course? That's literally what we're talking about next week. 100%. Literally that. Like, and like I talk about that in my actual experience at Netflix, where I worked with where I needed to do a join on a pipeline that was 2 petabytes a day. So definitely like 100% that is going to be the big part of what we do. That's the advanced Spark week of the Databricks course. We're going to be covering literally all of that. So I'm really excited for that in particular. So if you are interested in that, like that content should be coming out pretty soon in the subscription product. So I'm pretty pumped about getting that out the door as well. So we'll be good to go on that. Teaching Databricks has been a lot. Like the onboarding of students is such a pain in the ass though, because Databricks doesn't have any APIs. Is the code already used? It's 1500 in my Stripe cart, not 7. You just got to put the code back in. Just put SF. There's a promotion code. You have to put it in. Like I need to fix that. It's kind of a bug. But if you just put the SF code in, like in the freaking in the page, it will work. It just doesn't. I need it to propagate. There's like a bug right now in my system that doesn't do that. But yeah, if you just punch, there's a promotion code section that you can put in, right? I think it makes more sense to move to cloud or DE from data analysts. That's like a weird question. Like what's the difference between cloud and DE? That's what I would push back on. Right. What is your recommended chronological path from transitioning into data engineering from scratch without a computer science degree? Get a computer science degree. That's what I would say. I would say like people freaking like the number of data engineers who are in data engineering that freaking so the number of people who are in data engineering who don't have computer science degrees is not very high, right? Keeping in mind, like for me, I have 2 degrees. I have a math degree and a computer science degree. I have 2, right? And so like, sure, you can try to do the shortcuts of like, yeah, take the internet courses and freaking try to grind it out over the next 6 to 9 months. But guess what? The job market is very competitive right now. The job market is insanely competitive. So the odds that you were going to get in with freaking nothing, right? Then you're going to you're going to like just suffer, right? Does the all access include the access to all the bootcamp as the newsletter? So I mean, it doesn't like it includes all the bootcamp materials. Yes, the newsletter is a separate thing. I've considered adding that as well, but like it's complicated, man, because my newsletter is managed through Substack and my freaking my bootcamp stuff is managed through Stripe, and so they're two separate subscriptions, right? And I've tried to figure out how to reconcile that, and literally talking with Substack, but they just will not fucking change. So like yeah, I wish that they were all together in one automated thing, but they are not. But yeah, you get access to all the bootcamp material. Like, and there is a slight delay for boot camps that are what try to say here, like if you are, like, for example, the boot camp that's in session right now, the one that ends in 3 weeks, then in March it will be on, like, so it takes about a couple of weeks for me to move it from filmed to onto the platform, right? Onto the subscription. So if you guys are interested, I just moved back to San Francisco and I want to celebrate with y'all. So if you go to dataexpert.io/SF, you can get 50% off a subscription product, and that you can get in and you can learn about analytics engineering. You can learn about how to do that kind of stuff, and like learn Snowflake and DBT. And you would be surprised at how far you can get with Snowflake and DBT. It's a pretty powerful product. Just bought the annual. Thanks. Yeah, for sure, dude. Like, it's great. I mean, like with that, with the 50% off and the annual, you just made a very big investment in your career. You have no idea like how far that's going to take you. Like, because you're going to get, like, we're going to do like probably 4 or 5 more boot camps this year, and you're just going to get access to all of that content, right? So that's a big deal. Congratulations on investing in your career. Congratulations on making the right decision there. With so many technologies used in DE, do you think resume standards are different for DE, meaning it can't be concise, especially in this market where you need to know everything? No, definitely not. 100% not. This will probably be useful to y'all. So let me go ahead and go to some docs real quick. Let me find the you're gonna let's go to this. So here is my resume. I think y'all can probably can y'all see this? I think y'all can see this, right? Like, you can see the resume. Like, I just want to make sure y'all can see it. What is the price after the discount for a year subscription? It's $750. So you'll see here, this is my resume, and you'll see one of the things I would hope that you notice is that it is one page, and you might even notice that this goes back to freaking 2016. This is one page that covers almost a decade of experience. So like, if you are building out your resume, like, yeah, sure, it's a diverse landscape, but guess what? You have this computer science expertise and projects section where you can just list all of the shit, right? You see, I have like, here's all the technologies, and like I list a lot of different technologies. Like, I try to give off that like I'm not a data engineer in my interviews, because software engineers get paid a little bit more than data engineers do in big tech. So I like to freaking give off that like, hey, I'm a data engineer with a lot of software engineering experience. And so that's why my stack here isn't just like Spark and Iceberg and shit, right? You see, I have like React Native, Angular, Android, right? Pandas, React, Node, freaking D3, Django, right? Technologies that you just don't really see as a data engineer, right? Those are because I'm a full stack engineer as well. So I don't know, but like, my whole point is that like, if you can't keep your resume down to one page, you are doing something terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. Because I have 10 years of experience, right? And this is one page, right? And this resume got me interviews at OpenAI, Anthropic, Databricks, Airbnb, Netflix, freaking Google, Amazon, like pretty much every tech company you can think of. This resume has got me in. So like, I mean, that's all. I mean, let me go back to my face, because I know y'all like looking at my face. So in my last interview, I guess I'll stay at my current place for now. Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying. This one. Yeah. Like, well, it's interesting. How possible is it to get a DE job as a student? Difficult. I don't know. I never did. I got my first DE job like 2 years out of college. So yeah. Wow. There's only 3 left for the subscription product that you can get at 50% off. So there's only 3 left. So you might want to get in on that. Like, there's going to be you can do dataexpert.io/SF. That's both for celebrating that I'm adding Snowflake to the bootcamp, which we just added 40 hours of content on Snowflake and DBT. And yeah. Can you please include the newsletter as well with all access? I mean, I'll consider it. That's not something, it's complicated to do that in an automated way. That's all. It's a manual thing to do. That's a Substack thing. And it's like, that's why I don't do it right now. And it's $10. So like, I mean, or you can do it for free. You can get in for freaking $70, right? It's like, you can get a year, right? It's not that expensive. Like the newsletter is really not that much. Yeah. I got your monthly subscription for 30% off for your end of year sale. Is there a way to take advantage of your 50% discount if I pay annual? Yeah, I mean, you can upgrade. Like, definitely, we can definitely reach out to Matali about that. Right? Discount ended. Sad. No, it's not. Just put it into the freaking air. Let me show y'all. Let's go over this together. Right? So we're on this page, right? So you'll see we have the 50% discount, right? And then you can say join. Right. And so this is going to bring you to a checkout page and you can say add promotion code and you can hit apply and look at that. It's not ended. What a surprise. Like it actually works. Right. So, yeah, no, it is not ended. So like 100%. When will the next live bootcamp be? Is it too late to join? It's too late to join the current. It's too late to join the current iteration. Like we're more than halfway done with the current iteration. So like, yeah, I've got one. So happy with this discount. I live in Brazil and the currency is so expensive. Yeah, I mean, freaking the exchange rate is freaking terrible. Like trying to map between the two, right? So, yeah. What should be the proficiency level for the bootcamp or content subscription? Like, you should be pretty decent at SQL and Python. Like, I'm not gonna handhold you in like teaching you how to like. Here's how you do this, right? Why do you prefer US? Why not try Europe or UAE for work-life balance? Because I like to make money. I don't know. Like I like to freaking grind and I know that like I'm going to make the most money in America. So like obviously UAE doesn't tax, right? So there's this whole thing of like there's like a tax thing, right? That I think is interesting. That's where UAE is kind of nice, where you can like move to the UAE and then like avoid a lot of taxes that way. And I think that's one of the things that can help you take the pressure off, right? That's the one thing about the UAE that's nice, but like never Europe. Why would I do Europe? Like Europe is like they tax you more in Europe. And it's like, okay, all right. And it's like, okay, so I can have like access to healthcare that I already have access to in the US. Like it's an interesting trade, right? For sure. Like I've been curious about that myself. So you said I should reach out to someone on your team. Who are they? Matali. If you're in the Discord, or you can just if you're interested in doing that stuff, you can you can just reach out to this support@dataexpert.io. That's going to be a good email to reach out to as well. Or hit like we're more responsive on Discord. Discord is going to be the better way to go. Let's go. I'm stoked for his class. Working on a link in bio app for fun. Data engineering is very core to doing analytics for it. 100% it is. 100%. Like hopefully you get the logging right? How do we handle OLTP workloads in Databricks? You don't. You don't. Databricks is an analytics product, right? OLTP is for freaking not Databricks, right? OLTP is going to be for other technologies like Mongo or like freaking Postgres or like open source technologies, MySQL, right? You don't do OLTP in Databricks. That's like a weird combination. Which one do you prefer, AWS or Azure? AWS. How do you see the future of data engineers with the AI adoptions in the corporate and tech world? Like you just got to freaking recognize that data engineers are all about supplying information to make better decisions, right? That's what data engineers are all about. Supply information to make better decisions, right? And so AI makes more decisions in an automated way, right? Because now AI is going to create more decisions and that are going to be happening faster and quicker because like you don't have to think about things as much. And so that is going to be the big thing to remember. And so data engineers are going to need to like work more in the unstructured space, a lot of like text blobs and documents. And I feel like data engineers are going to be working a lot more with like PDFs and search and vector databases and stuff like that. And I don't know if you've heard of RAG, something called retrieval augmented generation that you can also look at. So just letting everyone know there's only looks like there's only 2 left here. Like y'all freaking have made this the fastest sell of my entire life. But like if you want to get in, you can get in here with dataexpert.io/snowflake or I mean SF, because I am in San Francisco and I just added Snowflake to the bootcamp, so it's like a double whammy, right? So it's crazy stuff, right? Bro, what do you think is going to happen to TikTok? I think that we have, I don't know. I think it's going to be more complicated than we think right now. I think Trump thinks that someone's going to buy it, and someone might buy it. Like if Meta buys TikTok, that will be unbelievable, right? Because then freaking they're going to have such a monopoly, and it'll be so nasty. And they honestly might buy TikTok. There's some antitrust stuff, but like if Trump's in office, antitrust stuff is like kind of gutted, right? It's like not as important. So do you think Delta Lake usage is going to be significantly lower with Iceberg adoption in S3? No. I mean, like, I think it's like one of those things that like it's very hard to change once you've adopted it. Like, it's not, I don't think that people are going to switch. It's going to be, if you've picked Delta, you're going to go with Delta. If you pick Iceberg, you're going to go with Iceberg. And so but like in the future, I think that like people are going to kind of, it's going to merge, right? My perspective is going to merge. Got the last slot of your in-person walk and talk in SF on the 28th. Excited to meet in IRL. I'm excited to meet you too, Sai. Should be a good time. What is a full stack data engineer? Is it just a DE with full stack web development skills or something more? That's a good way to think about it. But full stack data engineer it depends. Like there's a bunch of different angles for like what a full stack data engineer may or may not do. Right. So on one side, you might have one that can build the product and set up the logs and do all that stuff. You have that side, but you could also have a full stack data engineer who knows machine learning, right? So they can do the data pipeline, they can do the feature engineering, they can do the model, and they can do the model deployment, right? That's going to be the big thing, right? Bro, as a tech enthusiast, what to major in era of AI? Math. I don't know, math and like I feel like the hard scientists are going to be good. Do you have a timeline of future boot camps? Hopefully one in March or April. March or April is probably going to be the next one. So I need to talk with my instructors so we can get everyone on the same page to see if they are down to teach again. And like I want them to finish this week, and then I'm going to get more information on that, and we'll be launching sales for another boot camp pretty soon. And if not March or April, there'll be definitely one in June or July. So I'm really hoping March or April though. What's the best source to learn change data capture capability in Iceberg and also capture Iceberg table metrics using native Python package? My boot camp, bro. We covered literally all of this in week 1 of the boot camp, 100%. Literally, I spent like freaking 10 hours on CDC, Iceberg, table metrics, compression, all that stuff, right? Is the analytics boot camp now merged with the data eng boot camp? Like it's analytics engineering boot camp, not analytics boot camp. Make sure to remember that. So the analytics engineering boot camp is part of it, right? So the current boot camp has 2 tracks. So we go over Iceberg and Airflow in the first 2 weeks, and then the next 3 weeks are broken out, like where you can either go on Databricks or you can go on Snowflake. And the Snowflake side is a little bit more analytics engineering oriented, and the Databricks side is a little bit more data engineering oriented. So like you can go either way there. My bro, how much you pay for your new apartment? So this place is a 2-bedroom, 1,500 square feet. I'm on the 30th floor. It's 6,500. So it's 6,500 a month for my place. But I'm gonna get a roommate soon, so like I will probably only end up paying like 3,000 or maybe a little bit more than 3,000. So it's totally reasonable. It's like not even too crazy. Right? Is learning Hadoop first the best way to start on learning the Apache ecosystem for data engineering? Definitely not. Definitely not. Like Hadoop is dying. Hadoop is on the way out. Like you should probably be learning other things, right? You should learn like Spark, Databricks, Snowflake, things like that. That's going to be the better approach, I would say, if you really want to like learn like the right in demand skills for data engineering is going to be that, right? For sure. Yep. 6,500. Yeah, that's how much my rent is. 6,500 a month. That's correct. Which one you have more fun with, DE or SWE? SWE, because SWE freaking like the thing with SWE is you freaking like get like everything's alive, right? And you get a freaking you get buttons and clicks, and like it's a product, right? And you get all this like really awesome stuff that allows you to like just you can build a lot with that. You know, it's freaking awesome. My year subscription pays for like 2 days of rent after tax. Yep, you got it. You got it. What's your view on work gaps on my resume from a tech layoff as a junior data engineer? Is pursuing a master's degree worthwhile or unnecessary at this stage? Definitely worthwhile. I am all about going and getting a degree. Do it. Just freaking get a degree. Like, because there's a lot of companies out there that will still value a degree over a boot camp or value a degree over skills, right? So you got to recognize that like if you're in that space, you got to like work with it, right? For a company implementing data lake, how to choose between Iceberg, Delta, or Huddy? Just choose Iceberg or Delta. They're very similar. Iceberg and Delta are very, very similar. The main differences between them are that like Iceberg is going to be some of the partitioning is dynamic. So Iceberg has some interesting features where like you can have your partitioning not be a column, right? It can be a transformed column, which is interesting, but also painful. It's one of those things that like I actually don't like about Iceberg. And I like that Delta Lake forces you to have static partitioning, which is cool. That's like one of the only things that's like big difference between Delta and Iceberg. I think Delta, like if you're leaning into Databricks and you want to use something like Delta Live Table is a very powerful way to do ETL nowadays. And so like that, there's a lot of really interesting fully fledged features for Delta that Databricks is backing. Iceberg is going to get a lot of this stuff as well over the next 2-3 years. So like, but there is I would say Delta has a few more features right now, especially like if you're leaning into Databricks. If you're not leaning into Databricks, I would say pick Iceberg, and I'm not a big fan of Huddy. Do you validate the use of DS and algorithm for requirements in job interviews compared to what is done on the job? So yeah, they're unrelated. Learning to interview is a completely separate skill in tech. You just have to accept that fact. That's how the world works. I managed 13 years of experience in ETL with data stage and Informatica. Just started learning Azure data fundamentals. Please advise where to learn Python with regard to data engineering. Like, just learn Python. It doesn't matter. Like, it's like, can you just learn Python? Like, it doesn't have to be like, I learned this is like where it's like, it's almost like being like, where to learn English, right? And there's so many different ways you can learn English, right? You can watch movies, you can do all these different things, and like they all kind of make you more fluent over time, right? And so that is going to be a way to be thinking about it, right? What do you think is a good indicator that a person is good at product sense during a meta DE interview? This is for IC3. Well, like you got to freaking connect the dots, right? So it's like, do you understand like what your pipelines and how your stuff is actually impacting the business? Can you come up with good experiments and things that like could be an interesting thing to test, right? Like, do you understand like the impact of things and how like to test things? Do you understand like A/B tests and experimentation and gatekeepers and stuff like that? Like that stuff is, you don't necessarily need to have a lot of depth there, but like if you can go deep in that area of product sense, like you think you can kind of brainstorm with people, you are going to get a lot further than you think. Almost stopped pursuing data engineering when my first job was primarily do DE3 Informatica. Might be my most disliked tool. I hate Informatica too. I don't like Informatica. Informatica is freaking bad. With the recently announced project Stargate, which DE tech stack should we learn? That is not going to impact shit. Like, how is that like going to touch anything? It's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know, man. Like, sometimes people think that there's like ooh, they just announced a $500 billion investment in AI. So that's going to change everything. And it's like, okay, the path that I recommended yesterday is now completely different. And it's like, no, it's not. It's the same. It's the same. So like freaking, you want to be careful with that, right? So we still have one more person who can, take advantage of this discount if you are interested. I just moved back to San Francisco, so dataexpert.io/SF. And I just added Snowflake to the subscription product. So if you're interested in learning Snowflake, DBT, analytics engineering, all that stuff, it's all in there. We even have a Snowflake pipeline that calls OpenAI. It's a very interesting way of doing things. Like I'm trying to kind of show people off like how you can integrate AI into your pipelines, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Do you think a master's degree in data analytics is a good step as a data engineer? Does it really expose you to anything new? It probably will expose you to some things new. It'll probably be ancient as fuck. It might even teach you freaking Hadoop, and that might not be the best thing. But there's the whole like idea of like, I have a master's degree, and that will separate you, especially like if you're like someone who's trying to move to America, then like having a master's degree is a freaking very solid way to win, right? Where it's like, I wish that the US government would recognize my stuff, right? So wait, so meta DEs directly deal with experimentation and A/B testing? Yes, like they deal with pumping metrics into experiments, right, and coming up with good metrics. 100%. That's what I did when I worked at Facebook. I worked on freaking notification experimentation, right? So we built all these new metrics around reachability and notification delivery, right? Funnel metrics and like delivery metrics. And all that stuff I had to plug into Meta has this experimentation framework called Deltoid, and you have to plug your metrics into Deltoid so that then the data scientists can like play around with the experiments. But it's like you need to understand what experiments are going on so that you can be informed about what metrics to track, right? So that stuff's super important. Like I don't know, you mean like directly deal with, right? That's if you are supplying metrics for a freaking experiment, that feels like you're directly dealing with experimentation. Are you dealing with the rollout decision of like ship or don't ship? No, that's a data scientist's job, right? But are you dealing with like giving them the information to make an informed decision on ship or no ship? You totally are. What do you think about the PhD dropout that started teaching data in an adult website? Not going to mention it. It went viral on LinkedIn. I think it's a great way to go. Like, I think that like, there's so like, it's innovative, right? It's keeping people, sex sells, right? So it's like, why not? Why not? Right. What kind of tools did you use for logging and monitoring of data pipelines in your previous roles? Right. I mean, it's a lot of it was just in-house tools, right? Datadog and then in-house tools. What advice would you give to junior software engineers in Europe aiming to work for US companies to achieve a better quality of life? How can I stand out and improve my chances? Have a great portfolio project. Work really hard. Build something awesome. Like try to build a startup. Like try to do something freaking really great, right? That's what I did, right? So like when I was a junior software engineer, I built an app that got to 50,000 users, and that's how I got my job at Meta, right? Is by doing that. And so that was my standout project that like, because I don't have a degree from a fancy university. My university is freaking a random university. I didn't go to any cool school that like makes it easier to get into Meta. Right. So like if you have a really awesome portfolio piece, you are going to be able to get a lot further than you would imagine. Right. So, I mean, I think, is that okay? 1 second. Okay, cool. I decided we just ended the sale where it was five people were able to get the discount, but I added five more because like we might as well freaking try to get more people in here if you want. Um, I'm a 50-year-old ex-convict whose most recent job experience involves washing cars. Can I still become a data engineer? Yeah. I mean, you're going to face more hurdles. Like, I mean, there's racism and sexism, and like you have a lot of hurdles there, right? There's like so many different things to be thinking about, right? But like keeping in mind, people, like if you want to get 50% off, right, you can celebrate me coming back to San Francisco by using the code SF at checkout, and that will get you 50% off. I added five more so we can make more sales if you want, because people are hungry. They're hungry for success, right? So build an app with active user base. Yeah, that checks out. Any advice for people to look for or follow for inspiration? Build an app that like you're interested in building, right? Build an app that you want to use, right? So that was why my app was so successful, is because like my app was all about Magic the Gathering, and it was an app that helped you make decks with Magic the Gathering. And so like that was something that I found to be very, very awesome, right? And it was very easy to work with, right? What is a red flag on data engineering job post or interview? Like if they freaking like a bunch of things. If they're asking for like a million technologies, like no, like freaking a lot of times, like if they're asking for technology experience in technologies like that are like more experience in technologies than exist in that technology, that just shows that the recruiter's super lazy. Other things to be thinking about, like I'm a little bit skeptical of data engineer roles that require you to wear, quote unquote, wear multiple hats. I'm not about that. I don't find that to be like a good way to go, right? Do you do any paid mentoring sessions on websites like Prepfully? No, I'm not. I don't give a shit about freaking doing like job interview prep. Like, I mean, I've been thinking about offering that. I'm not gonna personally do that. I hate giving mock interviews. It's literally like the most dull and draining thing for me personally. But I know that there's people like in my company and people who are interested in delivering and helping with that. But I'm not gonna, like, a lot of people are looking for mentorship sessions with me personally, and the answer to that is no. Right? What do you think about Meta and other companies getting rid of DEI? I mean, they're just trying to appease Trump. They're trying to get into the new era. Like they also recognize that Elon was early with that stuff. Elon was right about a lot of that stuff, right? About like freaking how the tides are changing, and that's why Trump won by such a freaking crazy landslide, right? How do you change job from current DE role for 50-plus-year-old guy? I mean, don't have doubts about like what you're doing, right? Don't freak. So like you're going to need to like work on a lot of stuff here. Like, so I would say a couple things here. Like one is you're going to need to like I would recommend picking up SQL and Python first, right, and then take my free data engineering bootcamp. You can check that out if you want. There's still a couple of weeks left with that. So if you want to join my free data engineering bootcamp, you can do that here at the bootcamp.techcreator.io. You can learn a lot about all that stuff. You can check it out on my YouTube as well. Like there's a lot of information on there where you can get involved, right? So yeah, it's freaking it's wild out there. Like but like I would not let your age, like don't like think too much about that, right? Because it's like you can try, right? And there is ageism. You're going to experience there's going to be more hurdles for you to deal with. But like again, it's like if it's something that you really want, it will happen. You'll make it happen, right? You're going to make it happen just like through sheer force of will, right? And I mean, yeah, just letting everyone know, like if you are interested in celebrating me coming back to San Francisco, check out this discount code. You can get 50% off the subscription product. And yeah. By the way, I appreciate the new website designs. A lot smoother experience. Thank you. Like I'm trying. I have a lot of people freaking working on that a little bit here and there, and a lot of that's still me. I'm still working. I still do a lot of full stack development, and I'm just trying to get some more people involved there as well, so we can get a better freaking site. How's your dating life going? Still single. Still very much single. I literally moved in yesterday, right? So I've just been like, it's been chaos. Is there a link to your resume template? I really like how there's no lines, get past ATS easier, or any template you recommend. Like, I mean, there is, if you want to freaking support me, I would love that. Like I have a freaking, so if you go to blog.dataengineer.io, you can, there's a post here somewhere, or a craft, right? Where is it? There it is. How to craft the perfect data engineer resume. So I'll grab this guy and we can post him in here. So you can blog that data engineer, how to craft the perfect data engineer resume. If you go there, it is behind a paywall, so you do have to pay, but it's like $10. So does your self-paced course allow access your AWS Databricks resources? Yes to AWS, no to Databricks, because Databricks is only part of the bootcamp right now. So because Databricks is brand new, I literally just added Databricks in the current iteration of the bootcamp. But you do get access to things like Glue and Iceberg and Tabular and things like that. So you would be able to get access to things like in the cloud, 100%. Like, and people do exactly that, right? You also get access to Snowflake. So you'll get access to Snowflake, to Glue, to Astronomer, to Iceberg and Tabular in the cloud, and S3. So yeah, you'll be able to do a lot of interesting shenanigans in the cloud, like with that, right? That's my whole goal with my my cloud-based bootcamp, is like anyone can do it from any machine, right? You don't have to like install anything. There still is like some Astronomer stuff that you have to install, but like we're getting closer to like having no like the startup costs are a lot lower now, right? Where you don't have to install anything. So I highly recommend it, right? Tech Lead is back. Have you seen his most recent videos? The ones where he's just vomiting out stuff about freaking Bitcoin. Or it's like, yeah, I mean, for sure. That's literally all he's talking about now is Bitcoin. And it's like, all right, bro. And I mean, Bitcoin's important. I mean, definitely have Bitcoin. Like you should definitely be having it, but I'm not going to become like, that's the only thing I'm going to talk about. Right. Or yeah, he's an interesting character. He's a crazy character. Like I don't even understand what I'm supposed to think about that guy. I'm back-end developer with 7 years experience. I love data. Is viable change path to data engineer? Yeah, now, yeah, 100%. Like I did the other way around, right? I actually went from data engineer to back-end and then back to data engineer. I did the swap, right? So like, yeah, you probably have a lot of the right experience, right? You could probably be one of those full stack data engineer people who can really help out, right? So definitely, that's where if you can learn about Snowflake, SQL, DBT, stuff like that, like I think you would be surprised at how quickly you could get a data engineering job, especially because you already have all that experience. And because there's data engineering jobs out there that are like almost software engineering jobs as well. They want you to manage the server, but they also want you to manage the data pipelines, because there's just like, they just expect the data engineers to do a lot of stuff, right? So if you're interested in getting a good discount, you can get 50% off my subscription product here. It's where we just added Snowflake, just added analytics engineering boot camp. Right? The whole analytics engineering boot camp just got added to the all access subscription. So highly recommend checking that out. It's really exciting. Bruno covered a lot of that stuff, and I'm really excited to see where all of that goes over the long run, because we are grinding and building and growing and figuring stuff out, and it's just like it's pretty exciting. I'm trying to figure out how to like make more boot camps and make more stuff. Right. I'm really going to be doing another free boot camp at some point too. But I want the next free boot camp to actually be live, because right now a lot of the free boot camp is freaking it's like pre-recorded videos, right? You have to like still watch the pre-recorded videos, which is like harder to do than if you watch something live. And so that's something I want to change, right? Do you have any recommendations for us green card goobers, not an American citizen, but I swear I'll pledge allegiance every day and fit in seamlessly? What company roles do you recommend looking at? Like, well, like freaking just that's a this is such a wild freaking thing, right? I think that the roles that are good for you are the same roles that are good for me. I don't discriminate here. Like, I mean, part of it is you just need roles that are going to be like exciting, right? It really depends on what you're looking for, right? I mean, I would recommend yeah. What's the promo code? Snowflake does not work. It's SF. So if you use dataexpert.io/SF, SF is the code. SF. That's how you can get in. So that's the highly recommend checking it out. I think other roles, machine learning, AI roles are going to get really hot. They're going to keep being hot for the next couple of years. If you can get in and learn how to build RAG systems and learn how to build freaking machine learning systems and learn how to deploy and monitor machine learning models in the cloud, you will be in demand for the foreseeable future, right? You don't even have to worry about stuff, right? I would definitely recommend that kind of stuff, right? Machine learning is going to be so hot for so long, and so that's going to be the way I would be thinking about it, right? When you launch your own crypto, I'm definitely not launching my own crypto. Like that's freaking bullshit. Like gonna do a rug pull, gonna be like the Hawk Tua girl. Like definitely not, dude. That's terrible. It's such a bad vibe, right? It's like one of those things where it's like I'm gonna launch my own crypto, and it's like, and we're all gonna get rich, and it's like, and then literally it always crashes, right? It's one of those things like I feel like influencer led freaking cryptos are the literally biggest scam of all the scams, right? So like I wouldn't worry too much about that, right? Like yeah, but crypto is a wild space though, for sure. I wanted to do more like the intersection of like crypto and data engineering, because I know that there's a lot of people who are interested in that specifically, and maybe even building out like bots that like read in real-time data and try to make trades, right? Pump and dump, baby. Till what time the 50% sale is active? Until 5 people buy, and now it's 3 people. So it's going to be today. Like, I mean, freaking people buy this. I never, like, I do these lives, and then by the time the live is over, the sales are done. Like, you got to understand, like, it's not freaking like, oh, I'm just going to wait. You need to buy right now. Like, it's how it works. Like, literally, I freaking opened 5 more slots, and 3 of them are gone. So there's literally 2 left. So, like, freaking, it's like, yeah, this is a great deal, by the way. Is someone with ML and DE skills called ML ops? Sure. Like that's a decent freaking way to think about it. Like where they have both, right? Where like ML ops is an interesting thing, right? Where it's like, you know how to deploy a model and make sure that it is right. Got in. Thanks for the code. Yeah, you're welcome, Weibo. Like, welcome to the freaking academy. I'm excited that you're here. Like, it's a freaking good time to be here, right? Like, I know that there's a lot of people here who are excited and ready to roll, right? A lot of data to work with in crypto space. Sadly, many of the companies seem unstable due to the pump and dump nature. Yeah, 100%. Have you tried Freequade bot app for trading crypto? No, I don't really trade crypto. I just buy and hold, right? The discount code does not register. It comes as caps and no way to enter /. What do you mean, dude? Like, why do people like? Okay, so if we go here, go data expert /SF. Okay, now we're on this screen. We go here. We go here, right? This opens up a Stripe page. Then you say add promo code and you say SF. And look at that. It adds the code. And it's that easy. It's honestly that easy, right? Now, this is a good question. Do you have resources for getting more comfortable, knowledgeable with the configuration and setup of all the tools? I get lost amongst the acronyms on Google when trying to understand what I'm doing. It's a complicated thing, right? I mean, so like freaking Like like a lot of the setup stuff is like I would think about this in two lights, right? Some of the setup stuff is going away, right? Because it's like you can just use a platform like Snowflake or Databricks, and then it's like freaking a lot of the configuration and setup stuff is gone. But then it depends on if you're like a startup and you need to do other things like that. I don't teach that as much. I don't teach like data platform engineering. That's not like what I teach because like there's not as much demand for that. There's just not nearly the same level of demand for that as there is for data engineering. And so, like, I know there's a lot of people in here who are like, "Oh, but Zach, that's exactly what I want you to teach," and it's interesting, right? So, we're going to be covering a little bit more about the configuration stuff with Spark, definitely in the bootcamp. I know you are in the bootcamp, so there is a lot. So um, so I think for certain tools, it's easier than other tools, right? Like if you have freaking like that's why I love Postgres. Postgres is great for that exact reason, right? Is because it just freaking works and it's sent, right? And it works pretty great. But then there's other tools out there that are like Spark, right? Where there's like so many possible knobs, right? The number of knobs that you can turn with Spark is like kind of unbelievable. Right? What are pitfalls to look for when you have to build from scratch a data warehouse? Great question. One is overusing compute, right? So like you want to make sure like if you're building a data warehouse from scratch, there's going to be uh, um, like there's going to be this propensity to set up your clusters to just be running all the time, and you probably don't need them to run all the time. They should probably be asleep most of the time. So like for example with Snowflake, you can actually suspend your clusters after 1 minute of inactivity, and that allows you to save a lot of money so that your cluster is only on when you're using it, as opposed to having it be on all of the time. And that is like a very powerful way to reduce costs for your data warehouse and your freaking stuff. I think picking the wrong technology is another freaking very common thing, right? Um, what else are we talking about here? There's this whole idea of like, okay, do you pick Databricks? Do you pick Snowflake? Do you pick freaking BigQuery? Do you pick Postgres? Right? And these all have like they all have trade offs, right? They all have different trade offs of like trying to understand like which way to go. I think a lot of people lean into Databricks because they think like, ooh, Databricks is going to be the most scalable with Apache Spark, but then they kind of crumple a little bit, right? Because they freaking like it's the number of knobs and configuration on Databricks is a lot. It's a lot. And so I would recommend that like you want to pick something that's a little bit more usable, a little bit easier to set up, right? Is there any way to get access to career mentors when signing up for the self-paced bootcamp? No, if it's self-paced, we do not offer mentorship to self-paced students. That's you got to join a live bootcamp for that. Like I don't have the because the reason for that is because like I need to have everything on a timetable, and I need people because it's like I don't want to just have my mentors standing there like with open calendars because it's like complicated. And so what we do is we have it on a timetable where we have our mentors who are ready to go at the end of a boot camp, and I can get OKs from each of them. So yeah, there is not. That's the one thing. That's why it's so much cheaper, right? That's why you can get this for $700 versus like the whole the boot camp is $2,500, right? It's a very big difference, right? I am of the notion that properly understanding database internals is an extra advantage. I mean, that depth in database administration will give you an edge as a data engineer. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, especially like if you can do data lake administration, like if you understand how to do cost controls and all that kind of stuff inside of a data lake, not just a freaking database, then you will definitely have an edge. Like, it's the whole idea of like if you can understand one layer underneath, right? Like you're not just working with the abstraction, but you're actually working with like the layer underneath the abstraction. That's going to be the best way to go, right? The guy asking about CS girlfriend is a man of culture. Yeah, I mean, getting a CS girlfriend is difficult, right? There's like, how do I get a comp sci girlfriend? Well, there's not enough of them to go around. If everyone got a comp sci girlfriend, then like the problem is it's 10-1. If comp sci girlfriends are supposed to go to comp sci guys, right? It's freaking like they're only 10% of the comp sci people. So that's going to be something that's a mess, right? I mean, I think everyone kind of wants that like comp sci hot girlfriend who can take care of them and make a lot of money and all that stuff, right? I think that's definitely something that is it's a complicated thing out there. It's definitely pretty complicated out like how to like find those people, especially when the gender dynamics are freaking bizarre. Right? I say, looking forward to the coffee walk this Friday. What do people usually talk about in these coffee walks? It's whatever. It's whatever comes to mind, right? I literally am down to talk about whatever. Like, I just don't want you to like grill me on data engineering. Just please don't grill me on data engineering. We can talk about data engineering somewhat. We can talk about career stuff. We can definitely talk about that stuff. Just like I just talk about data engineering all the time, right? And there's like part of me wants to just like make friends and get more people and just like see what's up. And like some people I vibe with more than other people. It's just like friend matching, right? It's the whole same idea here, right? So um, okay, I was wondering how often should data quality checks be performed in a pipeline? When will it be too many? You should be running data quality checks every single day. Every day that the pipeline is running, you should do it, right? What do you think about Data Camp? Data Camp's decent. Like they've reached out many times. They want me to teach on Data Camp a lot, but I freaking am not going to teach on Data Camp because I freaking have my own stuff. Right. Same reason why I'm not on Udemy. Same reason I'm not on Maven. Same reason I'm not on all this stuff because I'm building my own product, right? And I'm building my own things. So, like, why would I go with Data Camp? But Data Camp is they have, especially for beginner level stuff, they're really great. Right. Is Java Scala needed for Flink and Kafka dev and big tech? Yes. Yes. Just empirically, yes. Yes. You got to learn it, right? Your thoughts on getting married someday? I think I'll happen. I think I'll get married at some point. Like I want to have kids. I want to have a family. I want to like, and I believe the nuclear family is still like the best way to like raise children. And so because of that, I'm like, probably need to, raise some kids and do all that kind of stuff. Right. So I'm optimistic about getting married someday. Sometimes I think that I'm a complicated person because I'm a very chaotic person. I have like, I'm like, I want to like rule the world and I want to like, do all sorts of crazy stuff. But like, just realize there's literally one left here. So there's one. Oh, is that it? I think. Oh wow. Right when I punched it in, it's freaking done. I think all the coupons are sold out. Yep, they are done. That's it. That's all we got. So thank you everyone for joining, right? For the sales, right? But we'll be here for another 10, 15 minutes just to kind of close out the Q&A. Your thoughts on the Trump era? I'm kind of happy. I mean, I think that like it's going to be interesting. I think that like he's going to mix it up this time. He's going to be more bold this time because he doesn't have anything to lose now, right? Because it's like he doesn't have to care about re-election, so he can be really bold. And I think there's a side of that is exciting but also terrifying, right? How to thrive in AI dominated era? Learn AI. That easy. That easy. Like if you're not using ChatGPT every single day, you are falling behind. Just let you know. If you're not prompting every single day and learning how to get better at prompting, like you're falling behind. So you should be doing that every single day and learn how to just build it and get it and figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you see some of the hysteria and negativity of the Bay Area being true and false? San Francisco gets dunked on, but the Bay Area has the GDP of the Philippines. Yeah, I mean the Bay Area is amazing. San Francisco, you know what the GDP per capita of the city is? So the average person in San Francisco contributes $350,000 to GDP. $350,000, right? Literally the highest GDP per capita of any city in the entire world is San Francisco, California. So it's like if you want to actually give a fuck about like making the economy better, freaking come to San Francisco and freaking do this stuff, right? And keep building it up. How much DevOps you need to know in the data field? Depends on what company you work at. Like some companies freaking have a very robust data platform team and you don't really need DevOps. There are some companies that have no data platform and then you need a lot of DevOps. How much data governance is important in data how much data governance is important in data engineering? A lot, especially like if you're dealing with personally identifiable information like emails, phone numbers, social security numbers, stuff like that, then you really need to be very careful, right? I just got in using Apple Pay, but after logging in, I still see the option to join the Data Expert Academy. Can you please help? You're probably already in. Like can you just go to lessons and you're probably already in. Like it's probably fine. Like I would go to the lessons page. You should have gotten an onboarding email. I got a course in college learning Flink and event driven, but I don't know any Java. Probably should take a basic Java course. Yes, especially Rock the JVM. Rock the JVM is great. Any tips on how to nail in-person interview behavioral round? Make sure that you're not boring. Make sure that you actually understand the business impact of things. Make sure you're actually like you give a shit about that. Like you understand like I'm not just building a data pipeline because it's an interesting thing, but I'm also freaking actually building up stuff that's going to be good for the world, and that it's good for the business as well. Like you're making money for the business, because like at the end of the day, that's what data engineering is all about, right? Is it's all about like creating truth that freaking helps the business move forward. So like that's what I would recommend if you are working on stuff, right, and figuring stuff out. So that's going to be the behavioral round. Just use the STAR method. The STAR method is really good. The STAR method is really, really, really good. So that would be the big things that I would be looking at. But yeah, I'm here to that. I'm here for like another maybe 10, 15 minutes answering more questions. I see recent LinkedIn post not focusing on technology, rather the concept. What resource would you recommend to learn distributed compute? Designing data intensive applications. I'll put it in there. Designing data intensive applications. Just freaking like check that out. Designing data intensive applications, right? Dude, I just got an opportunity. Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? I just got an opportunity at BMW as a data engineer. That's amazing. That's freaking really awesome. Congratulations. Like that's like BMW is a great company. That's a freaking I'm excited for you. That sounds freaking awesome. Where do you see the opportunities for AI to transform data pipelines? Data quality checks, unit testing, integration testing, pipeline development. I feel like pipeline development is great. How many number of people certified so far from free bootcamp? Like 150, something like that. There's a lot more people now because people are recognizing that it's going away, so they're actually like busting their ass and finishing it, which I'm proud of, because I'm like, good, people are actually giving a shit now and they're actually doing what they need to do. So like I'm hoping that is that will continue, right? Because like we still got a couple more weeks. I think there's gonna be a bunch more people. I bet like we're gonna have like 400 or 500 people who get certified at the end, because people are like a lot more people are actually taking it seriously now that they know that freaking things are I try to say here, that are all like, you know, they recognize that their ass is to the fire now and they have to get it done, right? That's why I'm removing it, because it's smart. It's smart to get people to actually freaking do it. Do you measure how many people get jobs from your bootcamp upon completion? Do you plan to track it? If not, I do. I track that 100%. Like, so it's something like 30%, 40% of my bootcamp people like either get a new job or get freaking promoted in in the next 6 months, right? The next 6 months after, right? When was the cutoff date? The cutoff date is February 7th for the free bootcamp. So you have a couple more weeks. What do you think about AWS data engineer certification? Do it. If you need to pay money to learn, do it. When is the next round? The next batch should be in March or April. I'm thinking March or April will probably be the next one, right? So we can. My goal is to do 4 boot camps this year. I'm trying to do 4 a year, like all the time, right? Zach Ben, knee deep in the trenches, got hired today. Thanks for what you do. Yeah, you're welcome. Root Beer 19. That's amazing. So many people are getting hired, right? About to start as DE intern at Centene. Zach, your content is amazing. Took the free bootcamp. Amazing, Nathan. I'm so happy to hear that. They say, good job putting deadline for free bootcamp. Otherwise, it would never finish. 100%, 100%. And I have to take the content away too. That's the whole idea. Is like, freaking, I got to be an asshole about it, because it's like, even though so many people are begging me, I get a message every single day from someone who's like, please extend it, and I'm like, no, definitely not. Like, no, like. I got an offer for entry level DE. The title is data quality engineer that rely on Informatica. Is that a good role to start? Yeah, I mean, if you don't have any jobs, then freaking it's great. I don't have any questions, but I really love your free video stuff, especially related to data engineering topics. I just watched your recent videos. Amazing. I'm glad to hear it. Like I freaking am trying my best to like publish more content. I'm going to be getting back on the YouTube grind here in a bit, like trying to get more content out the door. And it should be pretty great. I'm really excited to see what happens over time here as we kind of stack into stuff, right? Yeah, FOMO, baby, FOMO. People will die of FOMO, right? Any advice on pursuing clearances as a SWE? Got hired in the DC area and getting a secret off the gate. That's amazing. I mean, just don't do illegal stuff and don't smoke cannabis. I'm taking the free bootcamp and it's really cool. I like the assignments. Great. I'm trying to get more crazy assignments. Assignments are super important. They reinforce stuff. They actually cause you to learn it, because you have to learn it because, you know, you learn through hands-on, right? You learn through actually like doing the work. Yeah. Yeah. I thought the free bootcamp ended in Jan, so I dropped it as I had IRL commitments. I must have missed the extension. Shame. It's 1 week. It's February 7th instead of the 31st, but Yeah, if you dropped it, then you don't give a shit about it. So it's all good. Like it is what it is, right? Because it's like if you can't commit 5 hours a week to watching this content, like it is what it is. Like you have IRL commitments, but I'm guessing you could probably squeeze in 5 hours a week. That's how it works. Like it's just you just don't care enough about it. That's how this stuff works, right? And that's I like to call people out on that stuff too, because there's everyone has an excuse always, right? But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for showing up today on the stream. I'm gonna bounce now. I feel pretty good about this. Right? Oh, sure. We'll go a little bit deeper. This is a great question. Can you elaborate on the no cannabis thing? Been off it for a minute, but just curious your experience. Yeah, uh yeah, I have been off cannabis since September, like middle of September. So like, and it's been the longest break I've been on off cannabis like in like a decade. And like yeah, I think that there's what am I trying to say here? Like it's been good for me in a lot of ways because it's allowed me to like get deeper and more in touch with my emotions. But like it's also been challenging, right? Will free bootcamp content be available on Data Expert for paid members after its removal from YouTube? Like, you got to understand, there's better content on Data Expert. I've already done all of the content in the cloud. It's like it's better content. Like, sure, people like I don't know why people care about the free bootcamp content being in the paid. I don't get why they care because there's already way better content in the paid version of everything, right? I've already refilmed everything, right? So 100%, like that's a big thing to remember as you're going through it. Fastest self-paced bootcamp speed run so far. Someone has done it in 2.5 weeks. So 2.5 weeks is the fastest someone has gone through the whole content, right? How many hours a day do I need to finish it in a week? A lot, like 10. Yeah, if you do it 10 hours a day for 7 days in a row, you can finish the boot camp because it's 25 hours of content, but then there's also 10 homework assignments that take another 30, 40 hours, right? I have Netflix senior DE interview coming up. Make sure to read the culture deck. They're going to ask you a million, trillion, quadrillion questions about the culture deck. And make sure you've read everything about it. Make sure you read Radical Candor. That book is a great book to read for the Netflix interview as well. Yes, cloud is more in demand than local host services. Yeah, 100%. And I don't know why people are like, I know that people just really want to like finish the free boot camp because they have a taste of what it was. But you guys got to understand, like the free boot camp that I released is like my first try, right? And I have done so that was my first main try at teaching a data engineering boot camp. I have taught 5 now. So I've gotten so much better at this presentation layer. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But is there a reward for beating the speed run? I will give you a high five, like in person if you're in San Francisco. But yeah, awesome everyone. I'm killing the stream now, but